On Christmas Eve, 1944, a hospital in Belgium went up in flames. 30 wounded soldiers died in seconds. One woman ran into the fire. She was not a soldier. She carried no rifle. She wore no rank. But in the frozen nightmare of Bastogne, she became something far greater. Her name was Renée Lemaire. And this is the story of the Angel of Bastogne. December 1944. The small Belgian town of Bastogne sat buried under snow. Then came the German Ardennes offensive, what history now calls the Battle of the Bulge. American forces, including the 101st Airborne Division, were rushed into Bastogne to hold a critical road junction. They were quickly surrounded, outnumbered, outgunned, running out of ammunition, running out of medicine. Artillery pounded the town day and night. Buildings collapsed. Civilians hid in cellars. Among them was a 30-year-old Belgian nurse who had returned home for Christmas. Renée Lemaire had not come to fight, but war found her anyway. When the offensive exploded on December 16th, most civilians fled. Renée did not. Instead, she walked into a makeshift hospital set up in the basement of the Samo department store. It was dark, cold, overcrowded. Wounded American soldiers lay shoulder to shoulder. There were not enough bandages, not enough morphine, not enough hands. Renée tore curtains and clothing into strips for dressings. She spoon-fed men too weak to lift their arms. She whispered comfort to boys thousands of miles from home. Working beside Congolese nurse Augusta Chowie and American physician Jack Pryor, she became essential to survival inside that basement of blood and smoke. Outside, the temperature dropped below freezing. Inside, the wounded kept arriving. Each day the artillery landed closer. Still, she stayed. Among the American supplies dropped into Bastogne were white silk parachutes. Renée found one. She kept it carefully folded. She hoped one day to turn it into a wedding dress. Her fiancé had been arrested earlier that year. War had already stolen so much. But she still allowed herself hope. Even in a town surrounded by death. Even in a basement filled with the dying. December 24, 1944. 8:30 p.m. The bombing intensified. Then a German bomber scored a direct hit on the building above the hospital. The explosion tore through the structure. Fire erupted instantly. Beds ignited. Smoke poured through the basement. The air turned black. 30 wounded soldiers died in the blast. The survivors screamed for help. Renée did not run for safety. She ran into the flames. She dragged one soldier out. Then another. At least 6 men were saved because she went back inside. Most people, faced with fire and collapsing ceilings, choose survival. Renée chose others. She went back in again. The ceiling collapsed. She never came out. When the fire was extinguished, Dr. Pryor found her body. He wrapped her in the same white parachute she had once hoped to wear as a bride. She was 30 years old. Today, Renée Lemaire rests in Bastogne's communal cemetery. A street bears her name. A nurse's memorial stands in her honor. History remembers generals. It remembers divisions. It remembers battles. But sometimes, the purest courage comes from those who never carried a weapon. They call her the Angel of Bastogne. Not because she was fragile, but because, in the middle of hell, she chose fire over safety. Christmas Eve, 1944. And a nurse who ran toward the flames. Like and subscribe for more.